What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin. And where do all these fights start? Round one. We got an amazing show for you here today. We're going to talk about this Tyson Fury and Usyk outcome. And how do you feel about the fight? I feel a different way. I think I saw a different fight. So, fight fans, listen, stay with me here. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And like always, let's get right into this video. What's up, guys? We have a lot to discuss, a lot to take away. I got a lot to talk about this Tyson Fury fight and Usyk, who won. And yeah, we're going to get into this. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it, but, you know, it is what it is. Hold on, let me take away. I got a lot to talk about this Tyson Fury fight. All right, I had to make sure that I was being heard loud and clear. All right. So, Tyson Fury and Usyk fought for heavyweight supremacy last night. Usyk was victorious in this fight. Congratulations on a successful title defense. Now, the outcome of the fight is a little bit. I'm a little bit on the fence on who won this fight. First of all, right, I want to talk about one thing. The judging. A lot of things were said about the judging of this fight. They even had an AI computer generated scorecard to just, it wasn't an official. This is in the testing process of seeing how, if they can fix the judging on some of this fight. Now, I have a suggestion on how I believe we could probably work around fixing these fights, right? Here's the problem for me. For all of you out there, for all you fans out there that believe that the Saudi prince hired the judges, you would be wrong. The judges in a boxing match are held by a separate judging entity in sports. That judging office handles a lot of combat sports, boxing, mixed martial arts. Remember in the beginning of the UFC, you saw a lot of boxing judges officiating UFC fights, and they were working through the kinks of how to score a UFC fight. Because a lot of UFC fights were called and they felt the wrong guy was awarded the victory. And they're like, man, he had him down on the ground. He had control time. What the hell is this judge? And that's what Dana White talked about. Dana White talked about they got to do something about these judges because he didn't control them. Dana White didn't get to pick the judges, just like boxing don't get to pick their judges. They're a whole outside entity. And what the Saudi prince is trying to do is do away with the judging by introducing AI judging so that we don't have to deal with human judging. There's a problem with that. I don't believe that the AI judge can determine effective punching. I don't think he can determine if your 10 punches landed, they had no effect on me, but my one punch staggered you. Right? Another way that I think that they might be able to control a little bit better about this judging shit, the problem with the judging corporate, entity, that although they are an outside source, they're also separate entities amongst themselves. Meaning, the judging office in Russia, China, out there, Philippines, is not the same judging system in Texas, New York, California. No, they might be under the same umbrella, but I don't think they have the same view as fight. And that's where I think judging gets lost in translation on these fights. When you're flying in these judges from all parts of the world that have a different perspective of how they should be viewing the fight. Now, in the judges' convention, they did announce that judges were viewed by effective punches, not punches landed. And the reason why I'm bringing up all of this, because this is going to go in correlation with that Usyk fight. Now, as we all know, if they cannot score the fight by effective punches, then what they're going to do, they're going to go by forward aggression. That is what the guideline of our judging for the boxing is today. That's what they announced. And the problem is, I don't think all judges see it that way. Some of them judges that they had in that thing, they were going by every punch. And they were also going by forward aggression. It seems like the Saudi Prince awards people going forward. So that's been his, the message he was putting out. I want to see action. I want to see knockouts. I want to see these guys actually fighting, going forward. You see? So it seems like that's the narrative. I'm not sure if these Saudi princes take these judges out to dinner and, express that to them. Yeah, man, when you're judging the fight, man, pay attention to the guy going forward type shit, right? But like I said, the way that they order these fights, or they're supposed to anyway, I know money changes a lot of things, but the way they're supposed to announce these fights, the judges don't even know until the night of the fight that they're going to be the judge in the ring in the heavyweight match. No one's supposed to know who that judge is, and leading into the fight, they still haven't determined that. And that is for safety reasons, so that no one gets to that judge. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what that rule was brought up for, because like the mob back in the day and all these gangsters, they would get to like the judging and shit. So in order to do away with that, and you getting a knock at your door with 10 gangsters talk about, we want to talk to you, and putting somebody's life in jeopardy, they wouldn't announce it. And that's how they would do. Now, in this fight right here with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, I was watching the fight. I have my live reaction on the fight. I started noticing from what I was watching, a lot of people started saying that Tyson was doing great in the first half of the fight and Usyk took over. And I begged to differ. I was like, wait a minute. I thought Usyk did better work in the first half and Tyson took over in the later half, right? It kind of went up and down in the later half. It kind of went, Tyson got 2 good rounds, then Usyk would win a round, then Tyson would win a round, then Usyk would win a round type shit. That's kind of how I was seeing it. And you can get lost in that, but I want you to know that in between every round, that minute they give the fighters to rest in between rounds? What do you think is going on between that 1 minute? You want to know what's going on? What you don't see when you're not at a live fight. But if you happen to be at a live fight and you ever went to a boxing match, you would see this with your own eyes. That after every round, the referee walks over to every judge and grabs their scorecard. They do not keep the entire scorecard on their table the entire 12 rounds, so that they can go, wait a minute, let me give this guy the 4th round. Wait, let me change my mind on the 5th. I'm going to give it to him. It doesn't work that way. After every single round, the referee walks up, grabs his scorecard, grabs his, and gives it to the officiator that's on the other side, right there. The actual 4th judge in a boxing match is the referee. That is the 4th man that's watching everything. You got 3 angles and the referee. He's watching out for fouls, headbutts, clashes. He deems a cut, a punch. He's the closest man to the action. It's the referee. So after every round, The scorecards are given. They're given to this official, and then that official, at the end of the fight, tallies up the numbers. And that's what it is, right? Then you go over there and you fight in the Philippines, and they keep the scorecard the entire 12 rounds. And you're sitting there, and there's no passing of the scorecards. The judge is literally, you see let's review the scorecard, and you see like a guy scribbling on the thing and writing another number. And I'm looking at that and I'm saying, that shouldn't be like that. That's where we're fucking up in our judging. And you're bringing these judges from all over the world because you want to keep it fair. You're saying that the Saudi prince is saying, you know what? We're not going to have a Ukrainian judge. We're not going to have a British judge. We're going to get judges from here, here, here. And these three men have been judging fights in their countries, and they've been viewing it different, man. You could tell that judge everything you want before the fight. Listen, this is how we're scoring it. Effective punch. For 20 plus years, he's been scoring it like this. You think that man's going to sit there and change his eye of boxing? You got to train these judges to all be on the same page, and it'll work. I don't think the AI is the solution. I think we have a system, but we need to slightly tweak it, right? And we need to get on the same page with our rules. That's all. And the way they should be viewing the fight all across the world, all across the board. They shouldn't be any different scenarios in different countries. That's where I think we're going wrong. As far as the fight went, I was saying it. I was saying Usyk has the more forward aggression. He was coming forward, but I couldn't help but notice he was missing a lot. Like a lot. And those punches he was landing on Tyson was rolling a lot of those punches. Yo, Tyson Fury was doing a lot of good body work. And he was hitting them sneaky on the inside, and he was hitting them with tricky shots. And I think that Tyson actually landed the more effective punches and in the later halves. The problem was he started to gas out in the championship rounds. Tyson. He didn't really he couldn't close the show, I don't think. And in that perspective, we talk about it. If you're going to beat the champ, right, you got to beat the champ, because they're going to give the champion what we consider a champion's nod. If the fight is close, they're going to give it to the champion. And in that regards, in that aspect, I see why they gave it to Usyk, right? But to sit here and say that Usyk is the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, that would be like, let me see. I'm not saying anybody came out and said this, right? I haven't seen any YouTube channel that ever said this, because this would be like, I would have to like stop watching a person that, if anybody ever said any crazy shit like this, like, I don't know, Usyk could beat Ali in his prime. That would be like, I would have to stop listening to that person, because it was like the old argument in football. I once heard that argument one time where that they said that this player, if he was playing in his era, he would be better than him, or if he was in this era, he would be better. That would be like saying if Ali fought in our era, that Usyk would beat him because the fighters are better, they got better nutrition, or they eat, or all the excuses, right? That whole theory was debunked in that football argument when the guy just merely said, but wait a minute. If you were to take Ali and put him into Usyk's era, wouldn't he have access to all the good nutrition, the good coaches, and wouldn't he be more familiar with the style of boxing now? Wouldn't he have that advantages? And if you were to put Usyk in Ali's era, wouldn't he have to be subjected not having all the nutrition and all access to all the equipment he had? He would have to go under what Ali had, wouldn't he? So how the hell would you say you would be judging Ali by his own method standards and nutrition and comparing him to a guy that lives in this era and just coming up to a conclusion and say, by golly, he beats him? Wow, you would be a one-sided person. Probably get blindsided in your life because you don't see all avenues. And that's probably been like a thing in your life that you need to work on. You have to have what we call vision. You have to add all the factors, all the elements on what you're saying. You would need to give Ali everything that the fighters of today's era would have privilege to, but you're not adding that. You're just merely saying, oh, Usyk would beat him because Ali was like this and our athletes are way more superior now. Duh. But he would, if he was in this era, he would have been a monster. Not sure how your Usyk would have did in Ali's time, getting it out the mud like he was. How good of eating, nutrition, and all the tools he would have had. Could he have done what Ali did with very little? Now we're talking. You know what I'm saying? But to compare the two, yo, that would be nonsense. You couldn't do that. Right? I don't think anybody was dumb enough, foolish enough to say anything like that. But just in case you heard anything like that ever, like someone say that, you can't do that. No, 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 you couldn't compare the two. And as far as Usyk being the moved up in the pound for pound list, what a disrespect to the heavyweight champion of the world, bro. Oh my God. I really see that boxing is going, it has already gone too far. I can, you know what I'm saying? Because I can do what I want, you know, but I'm going up a hill on roller skates. Like it just seems like everybody in the world wants to put Usyk on the pound for pound list number one. And I find that to be very, very disrespectful. You don't put a king on a list. He's already king. He's the king of boxing. He has the heavyweight fucking crown. He has the most prestigious belt in all of boxing, and they want to put him with mortal men. Oh my God, this is hilarious. I'm like, yo, give these guys on a pound for pound list a little bit of breathing room, bro, because by default, you're going to beat them. If you were to put Usyk on a pound for pound list, bro, you got to put him at number one. Mandatory. It would be a disrespect to put a welterweight champion above a heavyweight. What would that be saying about the heavyweight championship of the world? That is trash? Bro, no. You got the best belt in all of boxing, bro. Let the other guys shine. Give them an opportunity to be like, yo, off the skills base, not the power. The box heavyweight champion's got all the power in the world. That's straight knockout material, right? And you're going to put them on a list? You got to put them number one. You would have to. So I was like, wow, man. How could you honestly say Terrence Crawford's a better boxer, but put Usyk number one? What are you confusing the people with? Why are you taking skills against the best belt in all of boxing? It's just going to add confusion of why all of a sudden you got a guy above the heavyweight champion. No, he was never meant to be put on the list, ever. The heavyweight champion of the world is the heavyweight champion of the world, and that is it. He is king. There are other kings in other division, and if we were to look at it by like that standard, he's king among kings. Usyk is the king among kings. So you got like the king of the welterweights, middleweights. You got Terrence Crawford, he's the king. You got Naoya Inoue, he's the king. But Usyk reigns over the one ring to rule them all type shit. Yeah, that's why I never put Usyk or any of the heavyweight champions on a pound for pound list, because I don't disrespect the heavyweight championship of the world. I gotta keep it prestigious. And when heavyweight champion of the world walks in the room, he's the man. That's what it is, brothers. And as far as skill based, we judge all other weight rank divisions. That's how I feel it should go, man. You know, we need to stop. That's like us playing into the factor of all these interim belts. We're watering down our champions. So many interim belts that nobody really is looking at the champion like the real champion anymore. Are they? You keep watering down the sport. You keep lowering the bar to put people in to get them next to your favorite, for they can get them next to your favorite fighter. And we keep accepting this shit. We keep on going with, yeah, you know what? And because of the conversation. You know what? I can prove you wrong. When in actuality, we shouldn't be having no conversation about the heavyweight champion being on a pound for pound list. No, he's fucking king. That's it. As far as the fight, look, okay, I felt like Tyson fought a good fight. I felt like Usyk fought a good fight, and upon looking at it and thinking about it rationally, Tyson didn't do enough to win it. I think he did win the fight, actually, just didn't do enough. Not to take 3 belts, 4 belts away from a man. No, I'm sorry, no. You know, I was prepared to come on here and say that the wrong man, you know, the wrong man was called the victor, but the more my analogy of my own doing, saying that you're going to have to beat these freaking champions. When I saw that victory over Loma, when Devin Haney beat Loma, I wasn't mad. I thought the right person won the fight. Loma, if you didn't want to go to these scorecards, and if you wanted to go to the scorecard, you should have made sure you definitively whooped his ass. If not, take the judges out of the equation and knock him out. You didn't do enough to beat Devin Haney. And if Loma didn't do enough to beat Devin Haney, then Tyson Fury didn't do enough to beat fucking Usyk last night. Come to think about it. I mean, I like the way Tyson Fury fought him. Maybe inside of me, maybe inside like the boxing fan, I want to see that trilogy. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that trilogy. I expect it better. I wanted a little bit more blood, a little bit more drama, and perhaps a knockdown or two in the fight. You know, that's what I wanted. The fight didn't give me that. It was more of a skilled fight. I think Father Time it's time for Tyson Fury to pack it up. Not so long ago, they were calling him the greatest heavyweight to ever live. Right? Just not too long, less than 2 years ago, Tyson Fury was revered as probably the greatest to ever do it, claiming to be better than Ali. How time has changed. And if Usyk keeps fighting with every fight he enters the ring, he puts his legacy and his career and his claim to being the best heavyweight in the world, he puts that all on the line every single time he enters the ring. Because if Tyson Fury would have retired when he said he was going to retire, no one could argue that fact with him, huh? They could debate it, yeah. It would be opinion, but at that point, he would have retired undefeated. And technically, he might have not had all the belts simultaneously, but he did have them individually. So he did have all 4 belts at the heavyweight division, maybe in a separate time. He had 3 and 1, the WBC like that. But he did manage to get all 4 of them. So if he would have retired after those victories with Wilder, what would they have said? Then Usyk's legacy would have been in question because he would have never fought him. Right? Usyk got a good claim to the crown right now. Usyk beat Anthony Joshua twice, Tyson Fury twice. Dubois, the current champion, he already beat him, right? He's already gone through these guys. You don't need Deontay Wilder to solidify your Usyk claim. Deontay Wilder ruined his own career. So even though the power puncher that he was and the fighter people once revered him to be, he's not quite that image anymore now, is he? Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? So, look, what's up, guys? How you doing, man? R. Smith in the building. Bam Bam in the building. How you guys doing today? Drop that like for me. What's up, Angel? How you doing, brother? Smith, they are the same size. The only other problem is that some people don't recognize that they are wait. Yeah, Bam. Yeah, you're right. Crawford never been down. Nobody better. R. Smith. In fact, Crawford has been knocked down in a fight. They just didn't score it. Yeah, what was it? The fight against that I think he's like a Ukraine Russian dude. I forgot what his name was. Yo, he hit Crawford. Yo, Crawford went back like this, and the referee didn't see the punch. He thought it was a trick. Now you know on the way down, if you hit a fighter, it's considered a knockdown. Crawford dropped, bro. He didn't, and they didn't score it. Mayweather got a knockdown too, but it wasn't never a knockdown. Mayweather broke his hand off the dude's head and put his glove on the floor. The dude never actually, well, Mayweather bypassed the punch. The dude tried to hit Mayweather, but remember Mayweather went like that and he didn't get to hit him. But your glove did touch the ground, brother. That's like if you got a soccer ball and you're my goalie and I kick the ball back to you for you can pick it up and throw it and you get your eye off the ball and it scores. Does that score count? You're fucking right, it does. It doesn't matter if it was your teammate that kicked you the ball. That's a goal, right? It doesn't matter if your glove touches the ground, that should be scored a knockdown, right? So, and there's been a lot of fight. Listen, you're not gonna scathe. There's no Superman. You're not gonna scathe through boxing without a little controversy and a couple situations. And if the situations happen to land in your favor, shit. The referee didn't see it. You know what? Terrence Crawford has no knockdowns. Zero. This many. That many. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, Terrence Crawford, unique fighter. Every fighter's career can be broken down and debated and frowned upon. And you could do that to any fighter. There's no Superman. Okay. You can only fight one guy at a time. You can't please everyone by, you know, there's some fans saying you should fight this guy. There's some fans saying you should fight this guy, you know, and just because you're the type of fan saying, no, it's got to be this guy, definitely. You don't know what the thousands and thousands of other people are axing of boxing. So Terrence Crawford, I believe, took his situations. He had a big hiccup, you know, with his promotional company, Top Rank. It got messy all over, you know, and we talked about this. Fighters like Mr. Terrence Crawford is what keeps this sport alive. You know, those kind of fights, you know, that kind of ass whooping he gave to Arrow, bro. You know, that's what keeps these sports alive. And Tank Davis is another guy. You know, Tank Davis is a guy that I've already made a decision that I'm going to stop viewing him as a fighter that I want to go after legacy. Tyson, Tank Davis is not a championship fighter in the regards of legacy and belts. I got to accept Tank Davis for who he is. Tank Davis is a prize fighter. That's what Tank Davis is. Tank Davis doesn't care about your belts, your legacy, or where you rank them anywhere. All Tank Davis cares about, how much you say you're going to pay me? He's a prize fighter. He might get a lot of controversy because he didn't fight this guy or that guy, but that's not where the bag was at for Tank. He would have had to. That guy was asking for a little too much or wanted more of the bag. Tank wants the majority of it. He ain't playing that shit. He's the pay-per-view star. Um, he feels that he's gonna take the bag. So when I view Tank and I'm like, yo, he didn't fight this champion, he didn't do that. I gotta stop that. I gotta stop judging Tank for what my ambitions in life are. What I view and would want his direction of his career to go. I'm not Tank Davis, and I gotta stop doing that. Tank Davis has a different vision for his career. Tank Davis has a different agenda. Tank Davis is getting his money. And I'm not gonna sit here and keep saying, no, Tank, you should have fought this guy. He doesn't want that. How many times has Tank Davis come on and told you guys, I don't give two shits about the belts. I don't give two shits about legacy. I don't care about the Hall of Fame. I don't care. He is a prize fighter. I gotta stop that, man. And if I view Tank Davis as a prize fighter, well, then he's doing what he has to do. He getting his money. And let me just see you knock people out then. You're not in that category where I view you as going to go down as one of the best decorated champions. You might be one of the most exciting fighters, right? But unfortunately, I can't make Tank Davis change his mind. Tank Davis is going to do Tank Davis shit. He's a prize fighter. And I can't keep throwing my views on a fighter and trashing him for the vision he doesn't have. He never had that vision. I got to recognize that. And some of these other guys are fighting for legacy. Some of these guys claim to be fighting for legacy, but don't seem to be putting the fight together. Jerron Boots Ennis said he wants legacy. Mario Barrio had a belt, and fighting, them claiming that he's ducking fucking Ortiz at 154. Ortiz doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a belt. He doesn't have anything Jerron Boots Ennis wants. What's the risk for what reward? Beating Ortiz doesn't get you closer to Terrence Crawford. Nah, it really doesn't. Because if Terrence Crawford's in this situation, he's going to take the fight if he wants or if he doesn't. Terrence Crawford is not that kind of fighter where they push him to fight you. He's already at the point where he's giving us all the blood and he's calling his shots. So that would be a gamble. You really wouldn't need Ortiz. So calling Jerron Boots Ennis over that? Now, Jerron Boots Ennis not taking a fight with Tio? That's a title defense. That means something. And Tio has a big name. What's the problem? What is the problem? If Brian Norman Jr. is not fighting you, fucking fight Tio, dog. That should have been, he's coming up in weight. Yo, Jerron, what do you're about to get paid. Tio's going to get paid. You're going to get a title defense. Tio takes his punk ass back down to the 140. He don't lose his belt. It's kind of a win-win. All you got to do is win the fight. What's the problem? Then you hear about some of these other guys pulling out on fights to get these other fights, put together. I guess Ortiz got his guy now. So he's got his match. I like the fact that Arthur and Demetrius Bivol ran it back fast. I like that. They're really capped on their moment and on their market value. They're not allowing the fight to fade away a little bit. They're capitalizing on the momentum and all the buildup and the outcome of the fight, and people feel that one way or another, all the great legends that were real true warriors that had any controversy in any of their fights, they stepped back and said, "What, you think he beat me? Let's run it back." Real championship shit. The second time he fought those guys that you thought beat him, how'd that work out for them the second time? Clear victory. Clear victory. Like, no controversy. Now I can move on. You know what I'm saying? So, do you guys think that this chapter with Usyk and Tyson Fury is over with? What do you guys think Tyson Fury does after this? You think he should walk away from the sport? He's beltless. He's coming off 2 losses, right? Anthony Joshua coming off a couple losses himself, a couple wins in between too. You know, he's got a, but nothing to be really, you know, no big, you know, wins there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happens with Usyk and Tyson Fury. I think Usyk rides off in the sunset. He should fight Dubois, unify those belts again. The Usyk Dubois rematch. Dubois coming in saying, you know, he felt like he was robbed. Usyk turning around saying, "Yo, Saudi Prince, put that shit together. I'm a rock homeboy." Uh, Usyk's body in the Tyson Fury fight looked way stronger, better. He didn't look bloated like in the Dubois fight. He seemed to take body shots better. So if that was an avenue that we thought he was weak on, pay attention to what you're watching. He took all Tyson Fury's body shots. So if Dubois is concentrating, oh, I'm gonna go down to the body, I think he fixed that mistake. He patched that hole. He sealed that leak, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. But you can see how both men have elevated their game, Usyk and Dubois. You got to admit, Dubois not the same fighter he was in the first Usyk fight. No, he's not. He's fighting with a different level of confidence. He's really putting something behind those punches, you know, and he's believing in himself more. His chin seems to be holding up everything. He went punch for punch with Anthony Joshua. And he just said, Anthony Joshua cut him with a good shot. Usyk sat back, boop, laid him, bro. So I can see that Usyk has gotten better, but I can also recognize that Dubois has gotten better. So this may make for a better fight. It doesn't always spell out that way, but sometimes it does. I think that Dubois is a good, fast heavyweight. I think he's right up Usyk's alley when it comes to size and speed. Putting your punches together is a different thing. When you enter the ring, every fight, you use probably sometimes a different selection of punches because sometimes what you did with the other guy is not going to work on this guy. So that, and you know, oh, you can sit here and say, oh, Uzi's got this kind of punch. He's got this good body shot. Not sure if those punches will work on this guy. You might have to try a different way, a different style of punches, and that we won't know until we actually watching the fight. I believe both fighters have gotten to the point in their career where they're elevating their game. They're really, really, and look, secretly on the low. Don't tell nobody, right? Usyk's getting up there in age. How much longer do we have Usyk with us? And the remarkable shit he's doing. Yo, he came up from cruiserweight. Yo, and another narrative that these boxing people gotta stop putting out there. Usyk's not a real heavyweight just because he came up from the bullshit, bro. Bullshit. Tell me right now, how the hell is Usyk not a real fucking heavyweight if Rocky Marciano was the heavyweight champion at 189 pounds? Rocky Marciano was the heavyweight champion of the world. Usyk, where do they see this thing that Usyk's a small heavyweight? Where? On what planet are all the heavyweights 6'9". There are about 4 or 5 men that are remotely in that height range where you're like 6'9", 6'8", 6'7" for boxers. The rest of them are 6'3", 6'2", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Usyk is legitimately like 6'4", 6'5", bro. How is he little? Bro, he came into the fight 200 and what? 26 pounds? He's not a little man. He's not a little dude, bro. Tyson Fury was almost 300 fucking pounds, bro. 6'9". They were standing at each other, and he was barely, there was a height difference, but it was about this big. When you're saying he's a smaller heavyweight, you're talking about Mike Tyson at 5'10". Mike Tyson's not even 6 feet tall. Now that's a small heavyweight. Where is this narrative they keep? Usyk's a small heavyweight. He's doing remarkable shit. No fucking way. That's one big motherfucker right there, bro. That's a small heavyweight. No, 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 no. They just trying to like to increase his like aura. Oh my God, he's a small guy beating these big guys. No, the fuck he's not. No, he is big, bro. Usyk is big for a heavyweight. In today's era, he's probably average. He's not below average. He's a big fucking dude. Name me 10 professional heavyweights that are all bigger than him and that are good. Not no bums. They got to be in the ranking at least, right? To be a threat, because you can get any bum that's 6'9", 6'8", 6'7". We'll never meet. You don't got the skills to be on my level. Name me somebody that we're talking about that he's so tiny among all heavyweights. Him and Joshua, they were right there, eye to eye. How much did Joshua come in weighing against them? If he wasn't giving up 100 pounds or 55 pounds, then he's not that much bigger than him. And apparently, tipping the scale at almost 300 pounds is not enough. Because like I told you guys, at a certain point in weight, that extra 40 pounds, it doesn't really mean anything. That's like you having a protein diet, right? And the typical way, well, anyway, for bodybuilders, if you're going to put on muscle mass, right? You typically want to eat throughout the day your protein and weight. If you weigh 168 pounds, throughout the course of the day, you want to give your body 168 grams of protein into your body. Here's the problem with putting protein into the human body. The human body only accepts 40 grams of protein per serving. So if you were to sit down and eat 100 grams, what you're going to typically do is fart or burp out the rest and gases of the protein, because your body's only going to take 30. Then you work out, you have your schedule, whatever schedule you're on. I don't know what your schedule would be. You wait the time frame and you consume another 30 milligrams of protein. That's why bodybuilders eat 6 meals a day, small meals, and two medium-sized, good-sized meals, because they get all the carbs and the protein inside of their body. But you got to do it so much, because no matter how much you take in, you could be like, man, I'm going to try to get all 200 right now. You're just going to fart that out and burp it out. And your body's only going to take 30. So after that amount of weight, the human body, it's not like, if it was like that, then Tyson Fury at 300 pounds should have been able to smack Evander Usyk right out of the ring. If it went by weight like that. At a certain point, once you reach like 205, 210, that's it. The rest of the way is just really, look at when Miller came in at over 300 pounds against Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. Right? Was it Andy? No. It was against, I'm sorry. He was almost 300 pounds against Andy Destroyer Ruiz, but he was actually over 300 pounds when he came in a fight with Dubois. Bill Miller. And he should have, if it went by that much weight, he had a legitimate. No, if you want to be technical, he had 98 pounds on Dubois on fight night. Tyson Fury had 55 pounds on Usyk. And Miller had 98 pounds on Dubois on their fight. If it really went by weight, and the more you gained, the more dangerous it was, Miller should have knocked him out with one punch. It doesn't work that way. So that weight was just basically, he was going to try to lean on him. It gets hard and tough, but you're already a big dude. You could take those shots. So I don't think that the heavyweight division, the weight plays a factor like it does in all the other divisions. 4 pounds in another division, dangerous, very dangerous. His punch gets heavier and gets bigger. It does. You can beat up a smaller guy. You can weight bully another guy in divisions. And 4 pounds, 3 pounds can change the outcome of a fight. Yes, it can. But at the heavyweight division, we've already figured that out. We're 60 years in figuring that out. As in medical field breakthroughs, sports breakthroughs, we figured that out a long time ago. That's why we comfortably run that. We don't got time to explain it to the world over and over and over again. Know that once you pass a certain weight, either you're just fat or that's it. So first, Haney turned down the Paro fight after the Matchroom offer and didn't against Tio Top Rank. Yo, I saw that interview with Bill Haney, just blatantly coming out saying he's not taking the Tio fight. He don't want to do no business with Top Rank on an excuse. No, why don't you just tell the truth, Bill Haney? Your son's not ready for him. Not mentally, physically. Yeah, David Haney's ready for anybody, I think. Right? I think Devin Haney can fight anybody. Whether he can win, that's a different story. You ask me if he's ready to fight, Devin Haney can fight anybody. Not sure if he's all here right now after that loss. Putting him against Tio, that could be risky. If you want to give your son another win rather than a loss, but you can't put him in against a tomato can, Bill. I don't think that's going to, after your son knocks him out, he's going to realize that guy that I beat up was nowhere near my level. He's not going to get any satisfaction out of that. I believe if he fought Sandor Martin, fighters like Sandor Martin, he needed to fight. You know why? Because Tio beat him. And although some people will say, oh, Sandor Martin beat him. Nah, Tio beat him, dog. I went back. I watched that fight. Tio beat him. And the thing is that if he can beat Sandor Martin, Devin Haney, that's a good name. He's highly ranked. He's number 1 ranked in some organizations. That would have been the Russell kid. I would have put him in against him. But for Bill Haney, though, his logic, how he was going back and forth with KO Boxing about why he didn't take that TO fight, his whole logic, it made him look worse. I think so anyway. It made him look worse because what Bill was saying, really, Bill Haney sounds like a used car salesman. That's what he does. He tries to flip every rust spot, dent. Look, I know it's got a rust spot right there, a dent that adds an integrity to the car. You know what I mean? It gives it style. You see that dent? Women love scars, okay? Okay, you riding around in this car with this scratch on the side, you're gonna get the women, huh? He sounds like a used car salesman, right? Dude, no, it's a fucking scratch and a dent, and the motor sucks. Like, he's still trying to sell me the car, right? So Bill Haney, like, I don't. He kept trying to bring up the fact that he's the manager of the year, like all his decisions were like the best. Bill, my man, like, I would love to talk to Bill Haney, have him come on my show, like man to man. Like, he's already had all the boxing questions asked to him. You know what I mean? We'll get to some boxing questions, but I really want to see what Bill Haney as an individual, and what how he views his son. They say if you love your son, you would want the best for him, right? So I believe that's exactly what Bill Haney is trying to do. And I would like to hear his version of how he feels he's going to manage his son's career from here on in. And what kind of help is he going to get his son? I think that the Haneys right now are fighting more controversy than they're doing in the ring. They need to focus on fighting in the ring and less controversy out, you know? If I haven't talked to Haney in a medical, okay, the reason why I can say that is boxing experience. All the time I've been in and out of a ring in fights myself, and what fights do to you as a person. If you haven't lost a fight or ever lost a fight like that on a world stage while your wife was watching, your little brothers, your father, the entire fan base that you have and the persona of the fighter that you were sending out to the world. After a debacle like that, it's not based on his fighting skills. And I repeat that. I kept saying it throughout my show. Devin Haney can fight anyone. Devin Haney is a fighter. But here, we never know. I would be merely speculating or guessing on how, as a man, he takes that. There are some fighters in the world that don't even register that shit. They're so crazy. They lost. Yo, they forget about that shit like this, but they don't really have a lot of skill. They're basically a punching bag. They have all the will in the world. They're like that guy, you knock them down. Come on, come on. Yo, they can't fight, but boy, do they got an unbreakable fucking drive, man. That shit is unshakable, man. He's all over the place. Come on, right? And you're getting tired of whooping his ass, and at some point, he's still coming. You're like, what the hell, right? I've seen those guys before. I've seen really skilled fighters take whoopings. They were never quite the same. Anthony Joshua, I don't think was ever the same after that loss. Some fighters can damage your fighter as a fighter himself. Once he gets that knockout, it seems like everybody else that hits him drops him, bro. He doesn't have that courage. When you're an undefeated fighter, you don't know how to lose. When you're going into every fight, you might be scared, you might be nervous, you might be trying to talk your way up. But at some point in the fight, you're going to realize I ain't never lost. I'm the best in the world. Once you're defeated, there could be a point in the fight where you would concede and losing. What keeps you going forward, what kept Devin Haney getting up off that ground time and time again when Ryan Garcia put him down, was the fact that he didn't know how to lose. He was like that test subject, right? That animal that they shoot him up with radiation. The animal will keep going forward because it doesn't understand it's dying. An animal doesn't understand the concept of death or being drugged or poisoned. That's why the animal lived longer than the human. When you tell a human being you inject them with something, he's allowing himself to die faster. I'm done for. I'm done for. You know? But if you never knew you got that injection, you would keep crawling. What's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? I don't understand. But once you understand something, you've been introduced to something, it's more likely for you to give up. Devin Haney, I'm not sure. I don't need a medical doctor. I don't need any clearance. I have fighting experience. Been around gyms for years. I've seen I've seen this happen in professional fighting many, many times where the fighter was never the same. That's what I'm interested on looking forward to. Where is Devin Haney's mental state? Devin Haney a fighter? He can fight. He can fight. He's young. He's 25 years old. He has a lot to learn. Every fighter has a lot to learn. And I think he will be improve and get better. And pretty soon, I think Devin Haney will be world champion again if he gets his ass, get it all together. He will be world champion again. Devin Haney's still better than 70% of all those other fighters. Just keep that in mind. He might not be the top fighter, the top 100. He's still 70% better than all of them. He's 25 years old, and he got years to get better. So it just depends. I can't say this guy takes an ass whooping, and since he came back the right way, that he should. Not all men are the same. That answer to that question, I would actually have to see it. I would have to see Devin Haney face adversity. I would have to see Devin Haney get dropped and keep crawling. What's going on with me? Fuck that. I ain't giving up. Get up. Not get dropped, wobble, go, all right, I'm done. I already know what it's like to lose. You know, that type shit. On record, statistically, yeah, he got the O removed. That didn't help. That doesn't help. That doesn't take away what happened. It's not like you can revert the ass whooping like his body never recorded it. No, his body recorded that. That overturn might make me feel better. Okay, that's paper. Physical. What did I actually do? What actually happened to me? On paper, you might have took it away. You can't take that night away. That shit happened. What's up? What's up, angry white guy? How you doing in the building? Do me a favor, people, and smash that like button for me. If you could do that for me. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Share the videos. Let me see what my man Smith here. We having a little combo. You know what I mean? Here. No, I'm not going down that road with you. I'm not going to do that. We're not going down that road, Smith. Unfortunately, I'm not going down the steroid road with you. Of what if, what, no. Everyone, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Definitely, I'm not a doctor. And I'm not a sports guy to definitely say that he had an edge or not, or this, that, and the third. That doesn't take away anything. It doesn't give me validation on the fact that just because he's a clean fighter, he's a dirty fighter, you're misunderstanding my point. And my point would be the ass whooping he received. Period. The outcome is what it came. I have nothing on that. We all know what it is. Those are facts. He was dirty. He got the O overturned. Let's get past that. That's not even a debate anymore. He cheated. He got the O overturned. Next. What I'm on is that ass whooping he took. No matter what, that will never go away. As long as that ass whooping he took, whether on drugs, cheated, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, you won. You got the O overturned. Next. Ryan's a piece of shit. Next. What are you doing, Devin Haney? And what are you going to do now? That's what matters. What's his next move? And how does he get back to championship glory? That's what matters. None of this. That's old news. That's so old news. That yeah, that's we know that. The entire world knows that. I don't mean shit. He's serving out his suspension. Devin, what are you doing? That's all I want to know. I want to know what Devin's doing. How Devin's gonna come back. I believe in Devin, bro. I believe in him, man. I believe in him. I'm not giving up on Devin. Nah. But I'm also not giving up on Ryan. I understand what it's like in this world to make mistakes. I understand what it's like in this world to be criticized, but I know what it's like in this world to be given a second chance. I also know what it's like not to want to lash out on somebody that's actually doing something with their life and me sitting here on a microphone trying to say, let's take away that kid's career. No, we only have one life in this world, brother. And if you were one of the fortunate ones to put yourself there, well, then I applaud you because many of us would love to be Ryan Garcia or even in his situation. Many of us feel like if we were in his situation, we would do different things. But guess what? He's there. And I'm not a hater. I try not to be a jealous man. And I try to be a man of integrity and at least give someone the benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to hear what you have to say. I don't believe in every sad story I hear. No, of course not. But sometimes I like to talk a little bullshit. So occasionally I let a master talk. Let me hear that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Look, I love all fighters. I love warriors. I love men and women that go in there and dare to be great. It takes a lot of balls, bro, to go out there in front of your friends and family on national TV, um, to take the chance of not getting knocked out in front of the whole world. That takes a lot of balls to do. Some people don't even think about it. They just view it as, let me go out there and fight, right? But as the stakes get higher and the more status you put behind your name with every fight, you're taking the chance of that being all taken away from you. So I commend these fighters for going in there and, yo, man, that shit's not easy, man. You see all the criticism these fighters get, all the memes nowadays. They be doing highlight reels showing it rewind over and all the punch hitting, bam, 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 bam. Then the guy go down, the music comes out. You got knocked the fuck out. What does that do for a person? He's in his house when he wants to dig a hole in the ground and just crawl in there. That takes a fucking lot. Yeah, it's cool to sit back and judge all these fighters and all this, man, but sometimes fans don't really take all elements. They kind of see it one way, voice their opinion. Yeah, I'm right, I'm wrong. Mm, I think boxing's a lot more than that. A lot more. So shit, you can give your mom a heart attack. She watch her son go out there and get knocked out. Your mom faint in the crowd. Ah, yo, it happened. It has happened. Man, I saw a lady get in a ring with a shoe and start hitting the opponent with the shoe. Y'all seen that, right? In them old fight, she was like, "Stop hitting my son." Yo, you could give your mom post traumatic stress disorder from watching her son getting her ass whooped in the ring. Yeah, man. So listen, you got to give these fighters respect. You know, some fighters are not the best. Some are just great fighters. Some are just good fighters. And I see the value in all fighters. So whatever Devin Haney chooses to do, I respect them. Bill Haney's logic, I'm not sure about that. Would love to talk to Bill again. I've talked to Bill Haney on interviews. I would love to talk to him again. I never got to talk to Devin. I would love for Devin to come on, talk to me, man. And really hear his side rather than me, trying to guess a little bit, because when I give my opinion, it's only on things that I just gotta spark your interest and make you go, hmm. It is a mental thing. Boxing has part mental to it, and the rest would be physical and skills. There are a lot of things and different elements that go into boxing itself that makes that fighter who he is. So some questions I might not be able to have the answer to. No, I don't. I definitely would have to talk to him, you know, and hear how he feels. Devin Haney, man, just be you, brother. Be a student of the game. Keep fighting, keep learning. Whatever you decide to do, I'm interested. I want to know. I would like to see you in the ring again. You know, he's one of our guys that I believe can bring some of these belts back to the US. Yes, Devin. You know, I'm not willing to give him up. Hell no. Um, there are a lot of great fighters that are coming up and really make their mark. And I think one of the best prospects that made himself a contender was Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis really shined. When you saw the guy coming in 6 pounds overweight, and Keyshawn, it was like, that everything could have went so wrong for the kid. What if Keyshawn would have went out there, that guy knocks him out, his mother, his brothers would have said, yo, you cheated, you came in 6 pounds. And in actuality, no, he would have not cheated, because Keyshawn himself revered what showed you guys out of his own mouth what happens behind the curtain. They called Keyshawn Davis into a room. They said, unfortunately, listen, your sister got into a car crash, first of all. Yes, she's okay. She's on her way here, Keyshawn. Don't panic. Second, we might have to move up your brother to the main event because your guy came in 6.5 pounds overweight. You have all the right to pull out of the fight. Keyshawn, we're going to pay you. You were a professional. You made weight, but tonight might not be your night. Keyshawn, not willing to give up the night, the opportunity, and everybody that came out to see actually him fight. You know what he said? I'm going ahead with the fight. The minute, I mean the second, you go ahead with that fight, right? There's no more cheating. His family, Keyshawn Davis' family, could not yell that man cheated in any way at that point. Why? You were notified. You said yes. That's just like me saying, I hit this last shot in the game. You're up by 20. I win. Do you agree to it? He says, yeah, I hit the shot. He goes, nah, you didn't win. I was beating by 20. Bro, you agreed to it. Last shot wins. You lost. That's it. Now you want to take your bat and ball and go home. Now you want to cry after you agreed to play me in the game and then you lose in it. But if you would have won, it would have been gravy, right? That's how much risk Keyshawn was taking that night. Because I was going to be the first person to say, if he had lost, bro, don't cry about them 6 pounds. Don't say nothing about the 6 pounds. It was in fair competition. Why? Because until you agreed to it, he was the cheater. He was not the professional until you said yes. The moment you said yes, you accepted the challenge. Now you had to find a way to win, and boy, did he do exactly that. Keyshawn goes out there, ha, he puts his jaw into the third bleachers, and the rest was history. My man's getting a title shot for the WBO. Uncle Bob loves himself some Keyshawn Davis. Top Rank is riding on a high. They back in Keyshawn. They got their fight of the fight. What happened with William Cepeda and Golden Boy? Why couldn't they get their guy that fight? William, huh? I guess Top Rank is really shining for Keyshawn, huh? yeah. Yo, hey, if Keyshawn can get that belt for us, one more belt for the U.S., right? I'm like, let's get it, baby, right? We're competing. We are competing, and it's all in love. You guys know it. I love my rivals like I love my fighters. Why? Without my rivals, what would the excitement be? I need my rival to make it exciting. I need that dude to come out from that country on a fucking tear, knocking everybody out. And my guy's over here. Oh shit, here comes that storm. Go get him. You know what I'm saying? I live for that shit. I don't want a one-sided fight. I don't want our guys to always go in there. Yeah, he's gonna win this fight. It is a done deal. I want to be like Tyson Fury and Usyk last night, where I was flip flopping. Oh, I don't know. I don't. Now that's a fight. You see? So when these guys come from Ukraine, Russia, Japan, Mexico, you name it, and they're like kicking ass. Oh, do I love that? Do I really love that? You know why? Because and then we're gonna look for that star in their weight division that performs the American slick style of boxing, and we're gonna get the top guy that we have, and we're gonna put him against them, and it's gonna make for an exciting night. An exciting night. I love all styles of fighting. I love the Mexican style. Yo, that the Mexican style when performed at the highest level, it can make you feel like you're in quicksand. He can feel like he's smothering you. Like no matter how much skill you had, this freaking guy just takes all these punches, just keeps. Yo, that style is it's frightful. It's frightening, right? Right? And then the American slick style. You listen when that shit is performed at the best. Oh, flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee, right? Yo, they so smooth with it, like the Sugar Ray Leonards and the right. When it's performed at the highest level, yo, our footwork, yo, the American style is nasty. Then you got like the Filipino style, right? Japan, Japan, they're real aggressive forward fighters. They really are. They they focus on the shot more than reacting on feints. They're real good at that. The Japanese style is you. I know that their style is a mixture of other styles, and they're finding their way. Naoya Inoue might have just solidified the Japanese style. Even though there were many fighters before him that did it, he's the best to do it and put it together. So that might have solidified their type of boxing, right? You got the Filipino style, like the Flash, you know, them. It's like the Manny Pacquiao. They like the 1-2 over, 1-1-2 over. They all kind of favor like Manny Pacquiao, you know, and the way that they get in there, you know, and fight. It's a lot of different styles, man. I like it. You know, it was always like some right-handed fighters would avoid left-handed fighters for particular reasons. You know, it's hard. You're always playing the foot game. Your foot is always stepping on the other guy's foot because everything's the same. Your jab is fucking his hand jab, your power shot. It's not vice versa if you were fighting two right-handed fighters, you know, and you would circle out this way. With a left-handed fighter, it's kind of awkward. And the best weapon for a left-handed fighter is that straight shot. And it can mess up some fighters. Like I've seen some fighters, tall guys, they can't fight short guys, bro. They beat the shit out of somebody bigger than them or the same height. But when they fight a little short guy, they can't do it. They suck. I'm like, bro, that little dude just beat the shit out of you. He's like, I couldn't hit him, man. He was too down. But a regular guy, boom, out cold. It styles make fights, guys. And when you're viewing a fight, sometimes you have a tendency of viewing it like what he did and what he did. Just because he looked like that against that guy and he did that against that guy, well then it's a It's 2 plus 2 equals 4 to you, right? No. There's so many other factors that you would have to take into that equation. Was he a left-handed fighter, or right-handed? Was he a counter puncher? Was he a boxer brawler? Was he just a power puncher or just speed? There are a lot of things you would have to know, but some guys just take and go, no, but if he beat him and he beat him, well, then he's going to do that to him because he did that to him. That's their logic. It doesn't work that way. Fighting has never worked that way. No. You ever see, like, in your hood, or like in the streets, or like in your gym, or like anywhere in life, wherever you live, wherever you're watching from, have you ever experienced two guys fighting? Let's say this guy won the fight. This guy lost the fight. The guy that lost the fight, right? This guy goes on to fight this guy. This guy beats the shit out of him, right? This guy comes back. He beats the shit out of him. You're saying, wait a minute. How could he beat him if he beat him but lost to him? Doesn't it work like that sometimes? And what do you take from that? Why does that happen? Stylistically, whatever that guy was doing to fool him or to bait him, to hit him with that shot, he never saw it coming. That one simple move, that punch that altered the fight, down he goes, and all of a sudden he's pounding his head in. Fight's over with. How did that just happen if he beat him, but he lost to him? That's when you start to learn, wait a minute, fighting's much more than just, I think this guy can beat him, this guy. No, 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 no. What is he doing that he's not doing? And that's when you start to see the fighters against each other, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? You start to realize that he can't do those same things he was doing against this guy. This guy's stopping that shit. He's blocking it. Why Subriel Matias didn't look like Subriel Matias against Liam Paro? Liam Paro did the one thing no fighter did to Subriel. He was clinching him. He didn't let Subriel fire off. You know how when Subriel would get close, he took all those punches to get close to deliver his? So when Subriel was coming through the front door, taking the shot, and he finally got close, he was like, now it's my time to shine. Paro grabbed him. No other fighter did that to him. They all just went into the high and kept exchanging with Subriel. Subriel would blunt him. He had like blunting shots. He didn't have like that one punch knockout, but he had like two sledgehammers, and he was like a clubber. He was like clubbing them. And Matias would break them down. And it was just clubbing. I think those shots had to like echo in your head, bro. And that's why he didn't look like that against Liam Paro. It was Liam Paro's tactics, what he did to nullify Subriel Matias. If a fighter knows how to nullify your offense, you're not going to look like that against him. He's not allowing you to do what you did to the other guy. Styles make fights, people. Claymore. Oh shit. That's Carlos. My man Claymore Ring was in the building. Carlos, what's up? He's really good, Carlos, and he is taking a long time. But that's the reason why Devin Haney's taking a long time, is because I feel and I believe it's the mental part that I'm talking about. He needs to forget about that night. The longer amount of time away from that night, the more you forget. Keep putting him in the gym, keep putting Devin Haney to focus and to remind him who he is. Now, who he once was, because he ain't gone nowhere. Who he is. So You don't want to put your fighter right away back in after taking that much damage. You want to make sure that you put your fighter in the best possible chance of winning. Throughout this time right here, what he should have been doing if he wasn't fighting was staying hell of active in the gym. You might not be fighting, but if you're really in there dedicating and trying to bring back, that fighter that you are, then I believe that Devin Haney is in the right course. He's uh, I'm not going to agree with Bill and management decisions right now. I would like to see who would be the ending result about the hand injury. You know, Ryan and you know what he's doing. It's hard to keep track of these guys. It's hard to keep track of them. What I focus on right now. Look, I can only pray for both men. Ryan, I pray that you know I wouldn't wish drug and alcohol addiction or failure or may Ryan fall off a cliff. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You know, I you know, I wish to see Ryan back. I think that he's a character of the sport anyway. He makes the sport entertaining. He brings fans to the sport, and for those things I hope that that 1 year suspension doesn't destroy his life and he falls into this party. And then all of a sudden, we're just seeing years of Ryan Garcia getting arrested, crashing cars, and it's just a sad story of an athlete we once knew. We've seen it many times. So I've seen that firsthand, and I wouldn't wish that on Ryan Garcia. I hope he comes back to the sport. I hope that he gets another chance to prove to the fans. They're going to be testing him like around the clock because of this shit. He comes back, pisses, clean passes, tests, wins fights, and wins back the fans over and gains the respect of the boxing world. If in fact we never do know that someone didn't set him up. That theory and speculation, although that I'm not claiming it to be true, that still there's a 1% chance in there that somebody did set him up, Ryan Garcia. So, it's fucked up when what if Ryan Garcia, hypothetically, this is hypothetically, what if Ryan Garcia in his hearts of hearts never cheated or intended and someone actually slipped him that? And you were Ryan Garcia. You fought the biggest fight of your life. You have the biggest victory. And the next, week or so, you wake up to know that you tested positive. Explain your way out of that one. How would you know who definitively set you up? You're just going to be like Ryan Garcia, guessing, pointing fingers at everybody. Scooter, the guy that was giving the IVs and trying to make cut weight, and we saw that debacle. You're going to blame him. You're going to blame the substance in your bottle. Everything that Ryan did is probably typically what I would have said because I didn't know where it would have came from. So there's that one theory, but that doesn't excuse him. You know what that means? Ryan, tighten up your circle. At the end of the day, if we were in a trial and I was a lawyer fighting against Ryan, I would say one sentence. Okay, Ryan, you might not know where it came from, but whose fault is that? As an athlete and as an adult, you're responsible for everything that goes into your body. Am I right? All right. So were you dirty? Yes or no? Yes, you're responsible. Case closed. Tighten up your circle, son. Let me turn this off. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is what it is, but I would man, I don't know how I would get out of that. What if I was in a fight, the biggest fight of my life, right? I'm Ryan Garcia, right? I got a few $1,000,000. At that point, I don't got all the money I had because I hadn't fought Devin yet, right? But I'm Ryan Garcia. And I'm out with my entourage. My 5 friends are with me. They just don't have Ryan Garcia money. So when we go out, I got to pay for everything. And when the girls are out, I probably got to give them money behind the scenes so they don't look broke. You know how you got love for your boys. You don't want your boy always coming up to you being like, yo, can I get some money? So you peel off a stack before you guys get in the club or whatever, and you give each of them some money so that they can look like, you know, because they're in rich places where they'll never be. I'm Ryan Garcia and I'm showing them a good time in these high ass places. Now, at the end of the night, you got to turn back into a pumpkin. Not me. I'm Ryan Garcia. I'm going back to my lavish house, but you got to go back to the hood. After the party's over, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, my boy comes walking out of the Ryan Garcia's freaking condo, and he's going downstairs in the elevator, going back home to be a pumpkin. And the guy stops him in the outside the hotel or the condo building and tells him, "Hey, weren't you just with Ryan Garcia?" Like, yeah, I was hanging out with him. You going back home, huh? Yeah, I don't got Ryan Garcia money. How would you like to make $100,000? What do you mean? Listen, kid. Ryan Garcia's getting all the women. Ryan Garcia got all the money. Every time you go out with him, you see a girl, Ryan Garcia decides to bang her. Guess what? You're not getting her, right? You don't got that kind of money. Listen, I'll give you $100,000. You take this thing of toothpaste and you switch it with Ryan Garcia's toothpaste. That's all you got to do. You don't got to give it nothing to him. You don't got to administer nothing. Just switch the toothpaste for me. $100,000, kid. You in or you out? Kid takes the toothpaste, puts it in, goes back out to hang out with Ryan, goes in the bathroom real quick, switches it. Ryan pops dirty, has no idea where it came from. Explain yourself, son. The whole world's calling you a cheater. Now, this is just a hypothetical situation. You know, something I'm just playing out in my head. I know that coaches and other guys have done a lot of things throughout games to try to get the upper edge. I remember Larry Bird telling a story about the Celtics and that the players were at the bar drinking and the coach got a word that the Celtics were out and the next day was going to be a noon game. So I forget who they were playing. So the head coach of the opposing team bought all the Celtic players rounds of drinks all night. He kept sending them over. Then he ordered 8 hookers to come in and throw themselves on the Celtic players. Now he knew that the Celtic players were going to end up getting drunk, taking those girls back to and wearing them out all night. So that when they played them in the game the next day, he knew they star players were up all night drinking and doing God knows what. Larry Bird came in the next day and called the opposing coach out on his shit. And he told him, I see what you did, but I'm Larry Bird. Take this with you. And the Celtics still beat them. But these were stories that coaches and players did to the opposing team. There's this coach in college, you guys can look this up, that every time the other opposing football team comes over to their school, the opponent's locker room, everything in the locker room is pink. He did that to emasculate the other players. Yo, the toilet seats, the toilets were pink. The toilet tissue was pink. The towels you got to wipe your face were pink. The walls were pink. The sinks were pinks. The lockers were pink. So back then, there was no Cameron. Back then, there wasn't like Cameron was wearing it pink and he made it acceptable for a man to wear pink. I'm talking about in an era where men were like, pink? Hell no, that's for women. You know, those are the things that coaches would do. I've heard wild stories for guys to try to get an edge to win the game or the match. Bro, there was this one dude that poured that itching powder in a dude's jock strap in that wrestling match. You guys heard about that? Yo, I've heard so many stories about people that do actually do this. And Ryan Garcia sitting there pulling his hair out. Where the fuck did it come from? Yo, I was looking at him. I was like, if you're really a cheater, you're a good liar. But I'll never know. I'll never know the real truth. Did Ryan Garcia intentionally, like, look at the moment. Look at what was at stake, right? Ryan Garcia, up until that point, had never fought for a world title. He's never won a world title. He's never competed for a world title. That was his first world title fight against Devin Haney. So you're going into the fight, right? You already lost against Tank. You got a victory in between that, going into the fight. So you decided to pass all the tests 10 days leading into the fight. 10 days leading into the fight, you got Ryan Garcia on paper by VADA and all the things saying that he passed all those tests. So you mean to tell me that this kid thought in the last 10 days of the fight, let me get on a cycle of PEs, that the actual bottle that he took, Ostring, says it on the label. On the label, it says, in order to get the maximum benefit of this product, you would have to take it for 2 weeks for it to build up in your system. So he didn't even have 2 weeks for the product to work at its best. So you mean to tell me that he decided to miss weight, give up his opportunity at his first world title, decide to pop dirty because you knew after the fight you would test positive if you decided to cheat. So you wanted to miss out on your first world title, be called a cheater, and get suspended? That was what Ryan Garcia was thinking? That was the avenue that he said, by golly, I can do PEs and be labeled a cheater, give up my career, and not compete for a belt, and I know I'm gonna get caught. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, yeah, I'm all in. Give me that PE. I'm all in. That just doesn't sound right. But there are stupid people in this world, bro. And just because I feel like it don't sound right, sometimes when I hear or watch something, I'll be like, damn, that was some dumb shit right there, right? But I gotta remind myself, just because I felt like that was some dumb shit, in his head, I guess that looked like some genius shit to him. You know? Let me tie this jetpack to my back with some rollerblades and jump over this canyon. It it looked like genius in my head. You know, and you wonder why you got caught on fire and you went straight down like the road runner. You know what I mean? Like the coyote. Oh man. So yeah, I mean, these are just scenarios, but I think about it and I say to myself, God damn, how would you have to be one dumb motherfucker 10 days out from the fight to go, you know what? Let's do some Austrian. Yo, I can see if it was a performance enhancement drug, like one of the P, because there's a P for everything, right? In a boxing gym, I know this, right? There's some PEs that if I heard you were on it, all baits are off. I'm catching you outside. Yeah, whatever happens, happens. Let's just leave it at that. But there's a PE for eye-to-eye coordination that it would make your fighter zoom in on the target so well, you would have got hit with shots you would have never got hit with that guy's regular skills. Now, you take a PE like that, you can kill someone. He would have never got punched with those 45,000 shots you hit him with because you didn't have that kind of skill. There's a PE for power. There's a PE for stamina. There's a PE for weight cutting. There's a PE for fucking to think smarter. There's a PE. Yo, you want a PE, they got some shit out there Bro, I'm telling you right now, it's easier than you think that you can get this shit. I know there's no steroid dealers on every corner, but it's not that hard to get. Once you go to like a gym, you be there, yeah, there's people in there doing it. Yes, there is. Okay. But they're not professional fighters. They don't got a fight scheduled. These are just men and women that were older that are doing the PE because they got the right to do it. Like if I went right now to a gym and I went and I bought a PE, the fuck, who could criticize me for taking a PE? I'll take all the PEs in the world. I'm not competing in nothing. I'm not a pro. I'm taking the PE to make my fucking body feel good because I'm older. I want to get better in shape. That's what the fuck they got them for. It's up to me to take it. I ain't no WADA gonna knock on my door, be like, Mr. Mataro, here, give us a urine. Motherfucker, I don't compete. I could be all steroid up all I want. Right? So, but when you're competing, you're not supposed to take that. So guys that are not competing, that are just wanting to feel great doing the PE, they're going to be mixed in with your athletes that are in the gym. They're going to get to talking. Yo, how the fuck are you 90 years old still doing backflips? Because I shoot up this. The liquid white. This shit got me feeling young as fuck, boy. What? I'll beat you in a race right now. I'm the Flash. Oh, you want the Flash? Wait. I got it right here. Hold up. Let's go. And then they're sitting there looking at the guy going, where'd you get that from? And what Victor Content is doing, he's getting these vitamins to these fighters like Devin Haney, Terrence, everybody that's fucking signed to that snack shit, right? Here's the problem with what he's doing. In fact, what he's doing is not illegal, right? And it is, right? What Victor Content does is he makes a type of PE that is not registered yet. The doping athletic committee, the way he's administering these drugs, they're not there. Victor is a lot smarter than the doping agency when Victor was the one that made the most of the P's you have today. He's the inventor. He's like a mad scientist, right? So he's way more smarter than Vada. In fact, Vada hired him as an outside consultant to say, if we get this kind of detection, what does this mean? And how would you beat this steroid test? What would you put in your body to eliminate the steroid so that we wouldn't catch you? Victor Content comes in and says, yeah, this guy's cheating. Why? Because he's taking this supplement to X out this one, this, and that's why you're getting this reading. He's definitely cheating. Then they go back and they bust the guy because they got the fucking number one guy, Victor Content, giving them advice. Victor Content can't touch any testing vials from Vada. He has nothing to do with them. He doesn't work for them. He's not in their building. The only thing they do is give him a phone call. Hey, Vic, yeah, we hired you as an outside consultant to answer questions when we need answering. That's all he's there for. Now, the fact that Victor Content could have a friend that works in Vada, that I don't know. That's mere speculation, but a possibility nonetheless. Yes. Now, what Victor Content is doing, this is just a fact, right? I don't really want to say why I know this because the guy's actually active. But what he's doing is he's just administrating PEs into these guys' body that haven't been banned yet. As soon as the doping agency realizes that what you're taking is giving you an advantage, that will then be put on a ban list. Victor Content goes on again, makes a new serum that they haven't banned these things on, and the game begins. He's trying to make like a super serum where it's like all natural vitamins and that he hits the right combination to give you enhance your abilities without making it so much like a cheater thing. But at the end of the day, no matter what you think about Snap, Victor, the drug things, these vitamins that these fighters are taking, could we all agree on one thing? If you're taking a vitamin, what are you taking it for? So that it gives you a benefit, right? Whether it heals your body, gives you more muscle, retains your water, releases your water, whatever you're taking the vitamin for, apparently you're taking it because you want an edge. Am I right? You're not taking something and they say, here, take this. What is it for? Oh, it absolutely does nothing for you. Why the fuck would I take this? The reason why I'm taking your vitamins, why am I taking your vitamins? It's gonna recover a healing process faster. It's gonna give you more energy. It's gonna make you stronger. I'm stop talking. I'm sold. Right? You're taking them because you want an edge. So no matter how you view it, with Victor's position, you guys are all agreeing to take his vitamins because it makes you a better fighter. So you're actually not fighting on your own given God billing given talent. You're adding something to the equation. So if we were talking about natural fighters, none of you that are taking these supplements are natural fighters. Natural means natural. What part of natural means you take these mysterious vitamins? Like I said, you're not going to take the vitamins if they say, what does the vitamins do? Oh, nothing. It doesn't give you an edge, doesn't increase your performance. It's not going to help you lose weight. It's not going to make you last longer. The fuck am I taking them shits for? This is going to make you last. I'm good. Let's go. It's what I needed. I needed that extra to train a little better. So in professional sports, everyone's always looking for an edge. That's all this shit really is. I hope I maybe cleared some things up, but I'm going to tell you right now, make no mistake. And man, listen, what Victor Content is giving these guys is just shit they haven't fucking put on the list yet. They haven't just deemed it to be the minute. And I mean the minute they run tests on what he's giving the athletes, I bet you they're going to ban it. They're not going to be able to call the other guys cheaters because technically they didn't do anything wrong. You said these drugs were banned, not these ones. So until they catch him, then he's going to make another serum. He's made already over 60 versions of that clear serum from the Olympics. When he got kicked out of baseball and banned out of the Olympics for life, that clear shit that he was giving that track star, what was her name again? She was on TV crying because she got busted. And they found out what was in the serum. They deemed all her medals and took them away. And that bicyclist, the Tour de France guy, he was Victor Content's guy too. Yo, he had them all. He had them all. And they were getting away for years. Lance Armstrong, they was taking blood work out of him. They couldn't catch that man. He had some real good serum back then. Then now they tied it up with that. And yo, listen, man, that's all it is. It's just a cat and mouse game. Because I'm telling you right now, 100%, that shit he's giving them boys is just a super serum. Basically, what they just haven't banned it yet. Soon as they find out that they're gonna ban it, he's gonna make another one. He always does. That's how. Listen, he's a mad scientist that you're asking, hey, why don't you get out of jail and rehabilitate yourself, change your ways? He's obviously telling you he can't do anything else. He has to be involved in sports athletic vitamin supplements. He gets banned for life over here, does a prison sentence, and the man blatantly comes back to sports. But you're telling me he's a changed man? Some men don't want to change. I don't think he really does it for the money. He just wants to know. Some men get satisfaction in knowing that they beat a system, whatever system they're fighting against, and that they're smarter than them. That's their satisfaction. That's their biggest award, not the paychecks, not what you're doing off of his shit. He gets a kick out of that. But the fact that he outsmarts these guys on a day-to-day basis, it must be like a drug for him. Must be like a drug for him. He can't stop. No matter how good he wants to be, it's apparent. I know what the fuck he's doing. He ain't never going, man, listen. That man, he's not driven about money. He's not driven about on success. He gets that kick out of beating the system time in, time out, outsmarting them. I'm so smart. You guys gotta hire me to fucking tell you how to catch these guys. That's like that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. He was like a 16-year-old kid. He was like doing these check things from like the planes, and he was like everybody. He was so smart that when he got out of the feds, the real guy, the real true story about the guy, they hired him as being an outside consultant for the Fed, the Bureau, the FBI, man, Bureau of Investigation. And he worked for them as a consultant, how to bust. He looked at the best fraud checks. He was like, no, that's a fake. No, that's a fake. You know? So that's when you're that good at something. And Victor got they tried the same method. They were like, yo, you know what? We rather hire him because if we don't hire him, we're gonna have to be trying to catch him. Might as well bring him to the team. And he still made his own brand snap. He was hired to the fucking Vada. He could have chilled with that. Nah. Vic was like, no, I'm gonna make my own brand again. It's fucking crazy, bro. What's up, guys? What up, Penny? ah, yeah, you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that in their performance. Their punches don't look good and it's sloppy or whatever. It's because they not on that shit, right? Right? But listen, man, guys, I gotta tell you, right? Look, what were you saying down here? That's Rogers 45. You're making some very sensible accusations. People get sued for. I haven't made one accusation. Not one. Not one accusation have I made here today. Everything I said here today, it's all been all over YouTube, and Victor Content has made his own um documentary, and I watched the full documentary and I learned from the best. I learned from the best. Victor Content, he'll tell you, he said it himself in his own documentary. He explained what he does in detail. I make a steroid until you catch it, then I make another one. If he was comfortable with saying it out of his own mouth, why can't I repeat it? I've never said anything. I'm careful about what I say. The reason why I say what I say is because of the fact that he himself said it out of his own fucking mouth. And if you want, I encourage you to go watch his interview. How he is an outside consultant, how he busted, how he did everything. He told the whole story. How he went to the feds, how he's other. Remember Mark McGuire? I mean, it was Jose Canseco. And Jose Canseco started putting everybody out there. And then it was Roger Clemens from the Boston Red Sox, the pitcher, right? He was saying he was giving, and Roger Clemens took to trial. So when Victor Content got out of jail, Victor Content made a tell-all documentary. He told exactly everything he did, how he does it, and what he does. He's the inventor of basically every great PE that's ever been invented. It came from that guy and his scientists and labs and all his people that he hired. He was making millions of dollars, millions. And Victor told everybody, what I do is I make a PE and I test it. I give it to athletes. If they get busted, then I know I got to tweak it. He tweaks it. He gets another serum. The guy goes test. He passes. There it is. He starts selling that to all athletes. Then when they catch on, they bag that one. He makes another one. Victor, it was like he might as well have had a board with a marker and he broke down everything he did, how he does it, everything. Now you see him with Snap and you're watching it and you're like, what the? And they asked him. They fucking asked him, this Snap thing, what are you getting? He says, it's my vitamins. They said, and Victor looked straight into the camera and said, if these vitamins are not on their banned list, then it's not cheating. And Vada was like, when we test it, we mark it, now you can't use it. So I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm going, his whole documentary of why he can never go back to the Olympics, why he can never go back to baseball. He can't step foot on a baseball field. Victor Content. He banned for life. For life. Out of multiple sports. Comes out of federal prison. And boxing goes, welcome. Come to our sport. No, we don't think you're going to cheat. You want to start your own vitamins? Why not? Why not? Here, take some of our top fighters. He's an honest man. He's rehabilitated. He doesn't do anything wrong. Victor Content he's rehabilitated. Good for the sport. Good old-fashioned vitamins. And people can change. Yep. People can change. And Victor Content is just trying to live his life, man. Just making vitamins, man. Fighting the good fight. Yeah. Yeah. There has been how many right now since he's been in box? What was the number? How many of his fighters already tested positive with his new serum that he was working out? We're going to ignore all of that. We're going to ignore all of that. Let's not get into that. Yeah, we see these type of cases a lot, brother. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I tell you what, man. It's up to a person's discretion, right? Whether a person can get a second chance in life, I don't think that there's no soul in life that's completely lost. You can always come back from anything. And although sometimes, it's even like, I don't want to bring in no Bible scriptures or anything like that because I don't do that stuff, right? But there were like stories in there that show that they were like the 12 disciples. They weren't good people. They turned their lives around, didn't they? Yes. And I think that's what life's based on. You know, you can do some horrible things in this world, including myself. I wasn't the best person in the world, but I know I wanted a second chance. I know I was a good human being inside, and I knew I wanted better for my life. So people can change. Yes, they can. It's hard to think about a man like Victor Compton changing when he's playing in the same field he was, found guilty for. It would be like me, being a massive drug dealer, getting sentenced, getting caught with all kinds of kilos of cocaine, and then coming out and the cocaine cartel hire me as a consultant. And I say, I don't want to deal in cocaine no more. I have this different version over here that is not deemed, so come try my new, because I want to take you guys all away from the drugs. And I want, it's hard to be like, what did you get a job in? What are you doing for work? Isn't this right around the line of what you why don't you work at a bank? Get a work at a bakery. Do something that has nothing to do with tweaking drugs. Not sure. So, look, whether or not he changed his life around, who knows? Maybe he did invent a great vitamin, you know? I've never seen it. A vitamin that powerful. Mm, a lot of people claim to do it, but I've been in a lot of gyms, man. It sucks getting old. It fucking sucks, bro. Sucks getting old. Here comes this fucking guy. Hey, you want to train longer? You want to fight better? You want to still go on that title run? And you're sitting there and you ain't getting no younger as the days go by. Only if you started your career a bit sooner. Only if you had a better upbringing. But he's got a solution to all of that. All you got to do is take this and you can win again. And with every victory, every time you take it, the more success you have, they keep testing you and you keep passing. Do you really think I'm going to stop taking this? And one day they catch up to your ass. And it all comes down to a closing halt. You look back at your decision making. If you had to do it all over again, would you have said yes? I guess that's the journey that all of us individually go through, and it's called life. I'm on my journey, you're on yours. Love yourself. I hope you guys have a great day, an even better Christmas, and I can't wait to see these fights. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I am your host, Edwin, here at Round One Sports Talk, where we can come and have a safe platform and you can come and give your opinions and we can talk like adults. We don't have to swear at each other. We don't have to jam each other's views down each other's throat. I can view my opinions, you can share yours, and I will talk about yours just like you hear mine. So, fight fans, I'm on to the next one. After this one, don't forget to give the videos a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys are amazing. Peace out.